many people have this experience. There are friends that you develop over time, and then there are friends that you meet, and perhaps even improbably, you just immediately feel like you belong with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and almost like family. And there was something about them, and they said the same thing. We just recognized that we were friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no explanation for that. I mean, there's just a few friends in my life that have been lifetime friends like that, and we just were friends.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I think some of it might be background. Insu was Korean. My father had served in the Korean War to try, to free South Korea, and of course
Mm-hmm.
he perished there. He died there. And my mother and father were from the Midwest, where Steve is from, and there was just an affinity. Uh, and I didn't realize how important they were going to be in my life. I just knew that the way they thought about therapy articulated everything I believed.
Mm-hmm.
That many ideas which I could not have formulated at the time, but rang so true for me. So it was kind of a relief to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt very, very comfortable with these ideas, and really enjoyed listening to them. And for a very shy person, it was kind of a relief to be friends with Steve and Shazer, because we could spend a lot of time together and not say many words. You've probably heard this from other people, but one of the things that he was known to say every once in a while was that when he was a little boy, his father had said, "We're only given so many words at birth, and you have to be careful not to use too many of them at one time, because you don't want to run out."
Mm-hmm.
And so he's very parsimonious with his words. And here in Wisconsin, I'm up in northern Wisconsin right now. People really are like that. They tend to speak fairly slowly, and they don't use more words than are necessary. And I did a workshop with my friend Ann Lutz, who just wrote this wonderful book on solution focused approach, an illustrated guide. Anyway, Ann and I were teaching in Milwaukee, and there were a couple people in our training group that had known Steve. One of the persons was the man who had taken over the training program, the agency program in social services, when Steve and Insoo had left social services early on in their career. So he had known them, since the beginning. And we were talking about how Steve was really, even though he was born in Milwaukee, he was very much a northern Wisconsin man. These are guys who don't say a lot. They're the kind of guys that you call if your truck goes into a ditch, and they might come and not say one word, but they would quietly pull your truck out of the ditch. And he had that quality of just being very kind, very pragmatic, but not a lot of patience for extra words.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on some level, I found that very comforting about him, because he reminded me of many of the people I had grown up with further north. And Insoo was quite simply Insoo, one of the most charismatic and charming people I've ever known. Effortlessly hypnotic. She never studied hypnosis. And I had studied Ericksonian hypnosis for years, but I thought that Insoo was truly one of the most gifted hypnotists in the world, and had no interest in hypnosis and never had formally studied it. And she was also a deeply caring and kindly person, as he was. And that was a big attraction to me. They're just plain good people.